Hello, everyone. Wow, what a big crowd. I believe this is a record-breaking number. I counted 40 people. So welcome to Rotary. And I think Lisa Looney is going to do the pledge and four-way test. Come on up. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. An inspiration. Is that you, Dawn Wells? Come on up.
I am. Thank you. I was cleaning out a closet and found a book that I had purchased years ago called Simple Abundance. And this was really much about what we do under stress. And I'm afraid a lot of us are under stress these days. So here are some antidotes for stress. Cultivate gratitude, keep it simple, don't overschedule. Strive for realistic deadlines, never make a promise you can't keep. Always carry something interesting to read. Breathe deeply and often. Move, walk, dance, run, find a sport you enjoy. Be instead of do. Laugh more often. Are you all feeling inspired and like it? Right. You want to turn the page. Let Mother Nature nurture. Stop trying to please everybody. Start pleasing yourself. Stay away from negative people. Nurture friendships. Don't be afraid of your passion. Approach problems as challenges. Set achievable goals. Surrender expectations. For every yes, let there be a no. Don't worry, be happy. Exchange security for serenity. Care for your soul. Cherish your dreams. And express love every day.
Thank you, Dawn. Who are visiting Rotarians? We have any Rotarians with guests who would like to introduce their guests. Yes, Doug Walker, who you got?
I just speak. I'm a guest here, Jason.
Hi, Jason. Welcome.
He is been working for me or on a project for me. He's a fantastic contractor. If anybody's interested in.
Welcome. Happy to have you here.
When he's done, a couple months.
Any other? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jennifer is here with us today. So.
Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. We're recruiting you, you know.
I told her that again.
Okay, I'm going to invite Greg and Mary up to give you your blue name tag. You graduated with law probation. All right.
Do we give a speech?
Yes. Greg would like to give a speech. Greg, in 30 seconds.
Great. Oh, I need to have a picture. And we need to get your red badges back when you're done with that. When you're
This is his speech.
Thank you. Smile.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
It's a busy day today, so can you do announcements before service about self? You ready to tell me about that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, announcements. If you just line up here, we'll get through. Okay, this is my reminder. The closing dinner is on October 26th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have more clothing and fabulous stuff this year than we ever had before. So come on out and support Women's Crisis Support Team.
I brought you all signs because I know you all need them in your yards. We are half RCC, so they're in the back there in the box and they got real thick, some of them do. So please put these in your yards. Remember to vote. Thank you.
I have 3 quick ones. There's tomatoes in the back and some bags, in that paper bag. I'm doing one for Michelle Pike, who, told me about a grief seminar, and it's put on by the grief tenders of the Southern Oregon Living and Dying Alliance. And it's Sunday, October 27th. From 10:30 to 1:30, and I'll put it back there, and there's more information about that. And then one more thing, I got my ballots in the mail today. You'll be getting yours too. And there's lots of forums online if you want to see the candidates talk.
2 weeks from today, we'll be hosting a Halloween party for the club at our house. It's gonna be really easy to find. Just go up Stouffville Road, and there'll be a sign there that says Sweeney, and you just turn right. And we've already got the front yard decorated. We've got 56 inflatables already. And we're starting to decorate other parts of the house too. I was asked costumes. Feel free to wear a costume. Don't wear a costume if that's not your gig. I think I'm going to be Papa Smurf. But whatever works for all of you. Okay. We're going to have some Mexican food from Tamales Alma. Am I saying that right? Yeah. So, and some other things to enjoy. So feel free to sign up, and we'd love to see you there. Thanks.
Thanks, Tim.
A couple of work projects, and I think Tim, how Friday you go to take one of those bullet home.
Inflatables, they're not blow up.
Oh, inflatable. That's caution gets inflated. December 12th, Jody. Okay, is backpack project day. So in the near future, we'll send out an email to everybody with a few dates for upcoming projects in December, November, December. So you can mark the calendars for them. December 12th, backpack day. I think that's a Friday, maybe a Thursday. So set that on in your calendars. We can stuff backpacks. And then that same following weekend, 13th, 14th, whatever it is, 15th, is foreign exchange student interview day, a weekend. So it's a busy weekend for the Rotary clubs in town. So if you're available to help in a variety of different ways, we'll send an email about that as well in the near future.
I have a quick announcement. I have this available for whoever is going to dress up as a caveman for the party, and I want it back. Okay. Next, we'll have Lisa come on up and introduce our student service about South, and thank you. Okay, today it is my pleasure to open the 2024-2025 Rotary School Service Above Self Award music. We've done it for more than 23 years. Wow. And it's been so rewarding to me and to all. I think that we've been able to endeavor to help and acknowledge and award our students and recognize them for their outstanding service in their school and their community, and future leaders, and hopefully in Rotary, to join us. Our group has provided the foundational support for the program for the 23 years, and then there have been 16 individual members who have also supported with money, gifts, gift cards, gift certificates, so that our gift package is huge. And I'd like to say that without these people, it wouldn't have been as great as it has been. I just want to acknowledge them. Jody and Banner Baby, and John Jones and Century 21, Steve Rowe Motors, Jim and Allison Huber, Tommy Drake, Debbie Brownell, Sally Snyder, Devin Bev Walker, Deborah Mean and Oregon Books, Don Welch, Carla Robertson, Greg Fishwick and Margaret Bradford, Gina Marie Augusta, and me. And so
where their continued generosity has made our world the best ever. So, thank you all. And now I will introduce, I see Fred up there, and I believe that her school representative is with her, and I'll let them introduce her.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
There we are.
Hi. I don't know.
There we are.
I think. Are you ready for us? Okay, sorry. I'm Crystal Graham. I'm the office manager here at Hidden Valley High School, and it's an honor and a privilege to get to present to you Freya Mueves. She's a senior here at Hidden Valley High School, and it was our privilege to pick her as your guys' Service Above Self recipient award winner.
What was it?
I shall ask you some questions.
Okay, so Freya, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you plan on doing.
I've been going to Hidden Valley since I was a freshman, and I've played volleyball and tennis here all 4 years. I made varsity volleyball as a sophomore, and I've been on it ever since. I participate in a lot of different clubs here, like Stride, Josephine County Youth Foundation. I'm a part of Project Youth Plus, Future Business Leaders of America, Sparrow Club, a lot of different things. And after high school, I would like to go to Oregon State and pursue kinesiology as a degree.
What is kinesiology?
Kinesiology is the study of movement. So it ties in with sports medicine. So I would just be helping what I want to do, primarily teenagers and young kids who are in sports, just helping them heal from maybe traumatic injuries that they have sustained and things like that. So kind of chiropractic medicine.
Does the group have any questions?
Can you kind of hear what Stride is?
What is Stride?
Right.
Stride, it's actually a good question. I'm just kidding. I joined it this year, and it's a group of kids that kind of work behind the scenes at school. So setting up dances that leadership doesn't put on, doing fundraisers for things like breast cancer awareness, and just things like that.
Okay, anybody else? We have a quiet group, and we're very pleased to give you the award, and I hope you enjoyed all the gifts. And
Yes, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool.
Well, congratulations, and thank you, Ms. Looney, for organizing this every year. Let's give her a name. Hey, I think it's time for Don Welch to introduce our speakers.
District Flyers readers. Indigenous Peoples Day, as we know, was just observed this past Monday, so it seems incredibly fitting that we would have some representatives from Calgary. I'd like first to give a little background about Michael Rondeau. He's been a tribal member and has worked for the Cow Creek Band of Umpqua Tribe of Indians for over 37 years. I don't even think we look that old. His experience includes a lot. Positions that he's held are the tribe's education director, the housing director, the tribal planner of economic development, the contract specialist, government operations officer, and he's currently the CEO and tribal administrator. He's been chairman of the Tribal Gaming Commission. That will be a big deal. Past vice president of the UIDC board, and he's a current member of the Tribal Election Committee. But he's also very much involved in the community at large. He's a former Roseburg Chamber Board member, a Mercy Foundation Board and past president of the March of Dimes. He's currently on the Umpqua Economic Development Partnership and the Phoenix School Boards. He's also a member of the Tribal State Compact Negotiating Team. He's been a guest speaker at local schools, community colleges, and conferences on tribal affairs. He's been dedicated throughout the years to preserving tribal sovereignty, history, and culture of the tribe. But wait, there's more, because we have Carma. This is going to require
More.
my, all right, no, I asked Carma. Carma Mornarich. Close?
Yes.
All right, very good. She was born and raised on a ranch in Days Creek and is a native Oregonian. She received a BS in Agricultural Communications from Oklahoma State University and a Master of Arts in Teaching Professional Technical Education from Oregon State University. And after completing her formal education, Carma worked in the advertising industry in Montana and was a teacher in Douglas County. In 2001, Carma joined the Cow Creek Umpqua Indian Foundation Board and became its director in 2007. She's also a board member of the Lilja Family Fund through the Oregon Community Foundation. She's a scholarship committee member for the Roseburg, and that's so sweet, I'm including the Roseburg, 4-H and FFA scholarship, and she's a member of the Southern Oregon Willamette Valley Leadership Council for Oregon Community Foundation. She and her husband Jeff own a small cattle herd on their Blythe Ranch, and they have twin sons and a daughter all attending college. But before I leave, I also do want to say, you know, the Cow Creek Band of Umpqua tribe of Indians has done an amazing amount of support for years. And I can remember actually working for the hospital when they gave funding for the kids' care club, which was a no-cost healthcare screening that we would do every year, going up to Canyonville to get the award. But I think even more amazing, as time has gone on, their generosity has expanded and increased exponentially. So on February the 19th, the foundation came down and presented a pledge of $250,000 for our local library campaign. And just to give you an idea of how that can be leveraged, because it is pretty incredible. Because of that announcement, an anonymous donor from OCF contributed $500,000 to the campaign. So it's really amazing what you do, and we're honored to have you. Come on up.
Well, thank you for inviting me today to speak. I'm going to present just a little bit about the history, and I'm going to talk a little bit about our foundation. First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here today and supporting your community in a way that is so important these days. I really feel that communal effort that people put forth to help out in situations and different causes is so critical in today's society that we kind of pass that message on. And I appreciate all of the little mottos that you've talked about this morning. So with that, I'm honored to be here. I usually start these discussions out, and if there are questions during the time, just raise your hand. And I was told this is informal, so we'll go with that. I usually start these out with just a little bit of a background of where tribal rights originate. And it goes clear back into the mid-1500s when a lot of activity started happening toward what is now the United States and Central America area. Spain was very active in their exploration, and the Emperor of Spain at that time had commissioned a study by Francisco de Vitoria. He was a theologian of that era, and he's probably responsible for a lot of the way the international law treats land ownership. And he was commissioned by the Emperor of Spain to provide evidence of who the true owners were of the Americas. And that was done in conjunction with the Pope, Paul III at the time. And they had determined that the Americas were owned by the indigenous people. And it's really interesting because that came about because the Pope had declared that the natives were human and that because they could be converted to Christianity, therefore they could own lands. And so that led us into an era where you had to have title of the land before you could settle it. And so that was what the treaties were all about, that tribes entered into the US government. The relationship that the tribes has with the federal government is derived both from the Constitution and Supreme Court law. And tribes are governments. They're just another form of government that's detailed in the US Constitution. The tribes and the states on a similar level. If you look at, I'm sorry, I should have passed these out here, but this is just, these brochures, just a little bit of information about where tribes fit into the government diagram. It's often overlooked or not focused on, but during the writing of the Constitution, there was a group of chiefs from the 5 civilized tribes that were in up on the second floor where they were writing the Constitution, because the Constitution in some ways was patterned after the Iroquois Confederacy, 3 forms of government. And the only difference was, and for the women you might like this, but in their film, the women were the only ones that could vote. They elected their leaders. Now today or not, but it was an interesting concept. Just a little bit too much for them to handle at that time. But bringing forward the discovery of the Northwest, I guess you could call it. David Douglas, the botanist, the Scottish botanist, was selected to come to the Northwest and look at all the flora and the fauna and record it for the Royal Horticultural Society of England. And so he was here in about 1825, and I feel a little bit personal for this because he met my great-great-great-grandfather, who was a French fur trader, and his name was Jean Baptiste Desportes Mackay. I don't know, but he was living along the banks of the Willamette, and he had brought these pine things, sugar pine things, very large, back up to the Willamette Valley where he was residing at the time. David Douglas had seen these and was very interested in them. And so he hired him to bring him down to the Umpqua and clear out the road Umpqua Divide. And he did a lot of research on the trees and the plants in the Douglas fir. It's named after David Douglas. So those were early interactions with the tribes at the time, the Hudson Bay Company. They had encouraged their travelers to marry into the Indian tribes. And we're going back several generations here, but that great-great-great-grandfather of mine had 5 wives. And they were from each of the drainages, river drainages. It made them more protected for trapping because they were considered part of the Calcarees were the first, along with the Rose, to sign a treaty with the US government in the Pacific Northwest. The treaty ceded more than 800 square miles, and the footprint that the tribe follows now is north of the California Mountains to the Cottage Road, down to the south bank of the road. And that is kind of an ancestral area that we claim. There were a lot of tribes in the Road Valley, mainly because they were brought there to a reservation. Many of them were removed and relocated to reservations in the north, depending on these sleds. And unfortunately, in 1855, around that time, the Road Indian Wars broke out. And in Cow Creek's case, our treaty was ignored. And there's just so much turmoil. Part of our tribe was taken to Grand Ronde, west of Salem. And the ancestors of the current Cow Creek tribe, they didn't go. They went and hid into the mountains, and eventually they married into all the fur traders. And that didn't settle the treaty. So about 1910, 1920s, and 30s, 5 times our ancestors brought forth a claim, and was actually introduced by Congress for recognition. And it passed the final time, 5th time, it passed both houses, but was vetoed by President Hoover because of the Great Depression. So it wasn't until 1982 that our tribe was restored to federal recognition, which meant that on a government-to-government basis, we were recognized. Since that time, there have been a lot of development. One of the things that allowed us to be restored was the fact that our families in the tribe had stayed together, and they continued to conduct what we call Indian business. But it was that continuity of a government structure that allowed us to be restored. And it wasn't just because it was the right thing, and it was what was agreed upon with the US, but the local community coming from the mid-1840s forward were very supportive of our tribe. And in a moment, we'll hear from Carma Mornarich, who was Carma Michaels, and the Michaels family was very, very instrumental in helping our tribe get restored to a lot of the tiny families that here in the mid-1840s are still very active in today's community. And we've had this philosophy that, high tides floats all ships. And when, earlier when you were speaking about contributions that we make to the community, we don't look at those as just to get recognized. We look at them as an investment in ourselves, because what's good for the community is good for the tribe, what's good for the tribe is good for the community. And that's one of the tenets that we were, that's been instilled in all of us. And so with that process in mind, everything that we've worked toward, whether it be economic development or land acquisition, those things of community have always been part of who we are. And so shortly after recognition in 1982, we began an effort, a long effort, for about 10 years of working on an economic development plan. And finally, in 1992, we were the first tribe in the state of Oregon to negotiate a compact with the state to open bingo hall. And I don't know, many of you are probably around at that time, but some of you may not have been, but it was Oregon's first Indian bingo hall, and it was I think it was 7,000 square foot tin building.
It was blue.
It opened up, but it was something at the time that lessened the impact of the change in the economy from timber. This canyon, the main economy was timber. And at that time, this one was spotted out. A lot of these things were happening, and people were getting laid off. And I think we started out with 35 jobs. And since that time, we've had several expansions, and it turned into the Seven Feathers Casino Resort. And now we're about, at the casino, about 700 employees. But we have other businesses too, because we just didn't want to focus on gaming. We viewed gaming like the state of Oregon views life. It's a means of providing, we don't have a tax base. We don't have revenues that we collect from lands or anything. So we use the revenues from the casino to fund programs, education, housing, and a great portion goes back into economic development. We had adopted a policy and program of diversifying our economy, so it wasn't just with gaming. We have the Truck and Travel Center, we have an RV park, we have a media and advertising company that we. A lot of these things were things that were very costly to us, so we brought them into our fold, and we use them for ourselves, but they also operate as businesses. So we found some success in agriculture. We were able to acquire a piece of property in the Rogue Valley, the Rogue River Ranch between Table Rocks. It's a very historic piece of property, not just simply because of a lot of the story of the Rogue Ranch, but there were treaties that were signed there in the 1850s. So those were very special to our tribe. And so we've been working for other areas of business. A lot of it is technology. We have a data center in Roseburg that we have contracts with many corporations that hold their data there. And we do have a lot of entertainment issues or entertainment focused businesses that revolve around the tourism, like traffic. That kind of tells you a little bit about the economic and history of the tribe. And I'm going to ask Carma to come up and speak a little bit about what we do currently in Southern Oregon. And thank you.
I have worked for the foundation for 17 years. Before that, I was on the foundation board. And I don't look that old, right? Anyway, I have been a friend of the tribe for a super long time. So Michael kind of alluded to that. I'm the cowboy piece of it, he's the Indian piece of it. I come from a pioneer family. My great grandfather purchased a donation land claim that was owned by Alexander Dumont, which was one of the tribal families in Days Creek, and my brother still runs cattle and sheep on that same piece of property. So it's a Century Farm Plus. It was designated Century Farm in 1998. Anyway, my great uncle, Pete Ulam, was one of the pioneer families, part of our family that went back to Washington, D.C. in 1982 to help get the tribe recognized. And so anyway, I'm super proud that my path has crossed with the tribe's path, and that they chose to employ me for the last 17 years. So I'm the director of the foundation. So what does that entail? Well, the foundation is a direct result of gaming at Seven Feathers Casino and Convention Center. So back in about 1996 or 97, the tribe signed, again, first compact with the state of Oregon for gaming proceeds. And so a certain percentage of net proceeds from Nevada-style gaming would be given back to the community. And for the Cow Creek tribe, our community is defined by federal government. Michael alluded to our homelands, which, you know, I like to say, I probably may be wrong, Michael can correct me, but I like to say it's where our tribal members roamed historically, all right? So think back to the days before we had county lines. And so they roamed to Lane County, but Lane County had no lines. So the federal government deemed that the Cow Creek Umpqua tribe has 7 counties as what they call their tribal service area. So we are designated from Coos. So our 7 counties are Coos, Deschutes, Douglas, Jackson, Josephine, Klamath, and Lane counties. Those are our 7 counties. So we are all of Southwest Oregon, except for Curry County. I think the mountains must have been too steep or something. They didn't want to go there. I'm not sure. Anyway, so we are all of Southwest Oregon, except Curry is where the tribal service area is considered, and that is where the Cow Creek Umpqua Indian Foundation focuses our efforts in giving back to the community. We give to 501c3 nonprofit organizations. So I've heard a few of their names here today: Project Youth Plus, Women's Crisis Support Team, Boys and Girls Clubs, the school district, Grand Pass School District, the hospital, like all kinds of 501c3s in Grants Pass and Josephine County surrounding areas. Plus, we also support organizations in Medford that provide a ton of services up here in Josephine County and cross over, like the Maslow Project and a number of others that have maybe their home offices in Medford, but they're also deeply rooted here in Josephine County. So we support a lot of those nonprofit organizations that do crossover in both Josephine and Jackson counties, because remember, before county lines, we were just all in the Road Valley, right? So anyway, how much did we get? I did a little bit of math yesterday, and it's a little gray because the way that my computer program designates stuff. You can be in Jackson County, or you can be in Josephine County, or you can be a multiple county organization that serves multiple counties. But when you're a multiple county organization like Maslow Project or some of those, you're serving both Jackson and Josephine, so you don't necessarily assign the money to Jackson or assign the money to Josephine. So I did a little creative math and figured out that since 1998, so the foundation started in 1997, but it took us a little bit, you know, took us just a little bit of a while to get our traction and figure out what the heck we were doing, because we were brand new to this giving out money stuff. And so we started giving grants in 1998. So that's what, 27-ish, whatever, a while ago. Anyway, 2.5 million and change is about what we've given to Josephine County in that time, and that's grants that were given directly to Josephine County and a few grants that are crossover between Jackson and Josephine. And so when you do that math and you break it down by a monthly basis, that ends up equalizing out to $8,073 a month for the last 26 or 7 years, strictly to only Josephine County. So if I'm going to look at the broad picture, and my brain is foggy on this, but I think total, the Cow Creek Umpqua Indian Foundation has given about $28 million in the 7-county area since we began giving grants in 1998. And our amounts have fluctuated over the years. Like I can remember times when we have given as little as, you know, $300,000 per grant cycle. And then more recently, we've been able to give upwards of $850,000 or $900,000 per grant cycle. And why the big swing? Well, it's based on revenues from the casino. So the more the casino is making, the more the foundation is making, and the less, then the less the foundation gives away. What do we, you know, I said we give money to 501c3 nonprofit organizations. Well, for the foundation, we mirror what the tribal board of directors, what their causes are. So the foundation gives to the causes that the tribe cares about. One of the main causes that the tribe cares about is basic needs: food, clothing, shelter. All right, huge. So that's where probably the bulk of our money goes, is to basic needs. And then the second on our list is abuse prevention and intervention. And then we get to education a lot, primarily K through 12, but we have supported Road Community College over the years in a number of different capacities. And then we also have a health and wellness category. And then we have a community sport category, which seems to be playgrounds. Like, I don't know, that's where they all fall. But community sport is the category where when it doesn't fit in any of the other four, just stick it in community sport. So anyway, those are our 5 general categories. My board is made up of tribal board members. So I have 3 tribal board members. I also have 2 folks that are tribal members, but not necessarily on the board of directors, but they are 2 tribal members. And then I have 2 folks that are appointed by the governor of the state of Oregon. And then I have 4 people that are classified as community members. And so I have a board of 11 folks that are fantastic. Most of them are serving life sentences. Anyway, we don't kick them off. If they want to be on board, we love to have them and happy to have them be. And the folks that we have are community minded. They are super interested in nonprofits and are just generally wonderful people and longtime friends of the tribe usually. And then I just want to say, though, at the beginning of this, everybody was talking about their, you know, your announcements and the backpack project that are coming up. And I just want to tell all of you, thank you for what you are doing. Michael alluded to it a little bit. You are the fabric of the community, right? You are the ones that are doing these, what might seem like small projects, but they make a huge difference to a number of people, and you're really boots on the ground and just doing fantastic work. And I just want to say thank you for what you all are doing here in your community in Grass Pass and surrounding communities in Josephine County. It's really wonderful to see and hear. You know, I'm familiar much more with Douglas County because that's where I grew up. And that's where I'm involved. But you know, coming here and seeing the same energy and excitement for helping others in the community is really rewarding for me. So thank you for all that you do. Wow, that was great. It's fascinating. And thank you so much. Yeah, we're good. We have time for about 5 minutes worth of questions. And I just want to say thank you. I've known Carma for a long time since I first moved back to the area. And we served on a couple of committees together. And it was so great when I contacted you to find out if you could come speak, because it's really a great interest to us. So questions for either of them? Here. I could shout. Yeah. Maybe the people on Zoom, they may share a question. I have a teacher voice. But...
Your people started as hunter-gatherers, and now they're more like the rest of us. How has that changed in your mind?
Well, just simply because of the integration into modern society, we still retain a lot of our cultural values, and we do have annual events that we have where, you know, we do hunting and gathering of a lot of different things. One thing I was going to mention though, because you're all affected by it, is the fires. And in the diary of David Douglas, when he was traveling down to the Umpquas in the Road Valley, he was, and he noted in there several times that everything was burned. And that was a custom that the tribe had since time immemorial, of about every 2 years burning the landscapes. And the landscape was designed to be burned on a proper schedule. And when that stopped, all of the fuels have grown up under the canopy of these trees, and you get these devastating fires. And it just goes back to these forests need to be managed. So that was all, and we have lobbyists and we have professionals that work for us that are working for getting that message out there and going back to some of the indigenous ways of managing forests. So I'm kind of sidelined it there, but yeah, we still have a lot of our customs and of hunting, fishing, gathering. Yeah, we have an annual Huckleberry Patch event. That was technically one of the things that was very interesting because I know just listening to stories from when my grandfather was a child, and he was born in 1900, but he remembers when they would go up there and they would stay for probably 2 months. And then in the fall, the last person that left was supposed to set it on fire. So, and back then, when you set it on fire, it would work its way out. It wouldn't be one of these things that just went on for months and made such, you know, got into the canopies of the trees. But so.
Next.
Not really a question, more of a statement. It's really fascinating that you know, tribes and other businesses like the data center. Can you expand on that maybe, or talk about what else you did?
Sure. Originally, we received a grant. It all started with a grant to do a business incubator. And we knew that it wasn't as, I mean, you have to have a population of a community of 50,000 in a community before you're supposed to do that. But Roseburg only had a functioning population of about 35. But we figured, well, what we could put in, we would try to do that. So we created the business incubator there. And the old was originally the Douglas County Co-op. And they had sold it to us and they moved to rebuild. So, and as part of that grant, we designed a office space for startup businesses. So if you were an accountant or a lawyer or some sort of business, you could get low rent office space. But part of that was, you know, you were going to be helping out the community. So if you were an accountant and that's where you had your office, you would offer your accounting services to other people in the building. Well, part of that was the need for data storage. And so we started small, and we, at the time, had a CLEC, which is a telephone company that we purchased. It was a local telephone company. And part of that was transitioning into creating a data, I'm not using the terminology correctly, but it's just, you know, this data farms and all this stuff. You know, that's what we created in that facility. And because that facility was built after the big blast, and I don't know if there's anyone in here old enough to remember that, but our museum had a big presentation of
something. In 1950, there was a huge event called the Roseburg Blast, and basically there was a fertilizer truck parks downtown in Roseburg. It was in 50 something, and anyway, it blew up, and basically leveled, part of downtown Roseburg, blew out windows basically throughout the entire downtown. And so this building that he's talking about was built after the blast. There's like buildings that were before the blast and buildings that were after the blast. And this is one that was after.
And so when they built it with like 3-foot thick concrete. And so it was a natural place to put a data center because those are some of the requirements that you have to have in, you know, putting all those computers and everything. They have to be well protected, and this constant air conditioning, and there's just a lot that go into it. But that was kind of the direction how that came about.
Well, thank you. Wow. Thank you. That was wonderful. If you guys could come on up, Luz is going to be our surrogate today. If you don't know, Umpqua Community College has a fundraiser every year for scholarships, which is at the casino, and it's just they raise $300,000 or $400,000 a year because
November 8th.
November 8th. She wants you to know. And it's so cool if we had something like that in the area. Anyway, thank you so much. And if you could stick around, we'd love to have you. Okay, go, Luz.
Thanks, and sorry for my stomach rumbling through during the presentation. And I was trying to find what was causing it, and I was sitting right beside it. So I thought this time that I would do something more adult for my presentation. No, but then I thought about it this morning and I thought, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this whole adulting thing is overrated. You know, I mean, an adult every day, all day, that's a bit excessive, I think. So anyway, I have a new game for us. This one is a result of a book I found at the Museum of Motion Pictures in LA. And it's called movie title typos, making movies better by subtracting one letter. So let me give you a couple of examples of these. Instead of Castaway, movie called Cat Away. When his owners lock him out and leave for vacation, Chuck goes full feral in the backyard. Another one called Inglorious Basters. In Nazi-occupied France, a group of guerrilla chefs hatch a daring plan to kill Hitler by feeding him a delicious poisonous droplets. Ovocop, a cyber police officer, moonlight.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she mounts it.
Ovocop, a cyborg police officer, moonlights as a sexy jazz artist. The robotic implants might have replaced his heart, but he still got his soul. One other one, instead of Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings. The story of one man's unhealthy obsession with his truck. So you may notice that there are some light pieces of paper on your table. I'm going to give you 5 minutes here as a group at each table to come up with a new movie title by eliminating one letter anywhere in the title and then telling me what the movie is about. So about 5 minutes. I think we've got enough time to do this. Maybe 4 minutes. 3 minutes. Feel free to jump in. If you don't have anything on your table, feel free to jump in with somebody else.
Glory, we could do glory.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like a marathon, keeps going after the race. It's never seen again.
We've got three.
Yeah, we've got three.
Yeah, three already. Yeah.
Okay, so to save some time for happy guests, let me stop you there and just see if any group thinks they've got the premier shot here. Okay, Judy and Bella.
All right.
These are okay for Bella.
Well, not the first one. Okay, so our first one was Gone with the Wind, and it's the story of a marathoner who after winning just keeps going and is never seen again. Yeah, Gone with the Wind. And then the other is Indiana Jones, just a story about a bunch of regular guys from Indiana.
Anybody else have any that you want to share? Okay. Sorry.
The Princess Bride. It's about her transportation. And then my favorite was Star Wars. It's a much shorter.
Okay, we changed psycho into psyche. An unfortunate delving into Frankenstein's dream consciousness.
Well, I'm not sure we got it quite right. We went from exorcism to exercise. But the joke part, we haven't quite got it. Something about urging the desire to be healthy out of you.
We went from vegan to vegan, the story of how a tribe of vegetables took over the world.
We went from Godfather to Oddfather. Three mafia men.
Okay, we also have the Oddfather who wears his pants pitched up above his waist. He embarrasses kids with bad dad jokes and generally is weird. And when his kids come home from school after having been bullied, he sends his worst henchmen over to talk to their parents.
All right, great job with these, you guys. And I'm going to drop the challenge to you to come up with one before I do Sergeant at Arms again on November 7th. The winner will get the coveted Dutch Rose coffee card. Send them to me via email. Give me some time before then to look at them. Okay, great. Happy bucks. I'd like to start with a couple of happy bucks. As long as Jim will come up here and show his shoes and socks. Just slide it right up here on the table.
Shoes are actually some cheap basics, which I can't run and they hurt my microphone, so don't buy knockoff.
Repeat that.
These are books. List of books. Many of us have read many of these books. And these are the same books that have been banned.
Yeah, poor happy birthday is having so well over RSC. I got it and then Jim got it. And we didn't know that you can actually get a vaccination for it. And it's a one-time shot. I recommend you all get the shot because you don't want to get RSV. We didn't get the shot. We got it. It's worse than COVID. Okay, it was really bad. I was in the ER on a Saturday night with severe dehydration, tachycardia, and missing heartbeats. I was in a mess. So I'm just glad I'm healthy again.
So I missed meeting last week because I was at the airport and spent a few wonderful days with grandchildren last week. I have $5 for announcement. A lot of you have met my partner, Dave. Well, he will soon to be my husband. We're never too old to find love, because I will be a young 69 tomorrow. I would like to give $10 to Umpqua for giving the Justine County Food Bank always. Yeah.
I have a couple of happy birthdays. First of all, for our guests, it's such a delight having you here. And I personally am so grateful for all the help that you give to the community. I was just always seeing the concrete band of Umpqua Indians, and it's so wonderful, and it's part of a healing that our planet needs. So thank you for that. I also want to give a happy buck for our Student of Self Award. This young lady is another Project Youth Plus child or youth. And it's amazing. I'm so proud that we support them. I'm so proud to be involved with them on the board. And I'm so proud of the work that we do in this community. And another happy birthday, because she's not the only star. We have so many of these youth. So I love this community and want us to continue.
Yesterday was my first day back at Parkside for the year. I bet a lot of us have started back at school, volunteering with the first graders. And they have a new curriculum in reading, and the kids are so excited, and they are amazing. And the teacher asked afterwards, do you like the new way we're teaching? And I said, I love it. Kids are loving it. And she said, I'm glad to hear it because I'm loving it too. And it's transformative. So there's another first grade teacher in the same hallway that doesn't look like she has a volunteer. So come see me if you are interested at Parkside.
So I've got some happy bucks. I want to reiterate a thank you to the Cow Creek Tribe for the library. The 250. Those early donations really make a difference. They're very, very motivational to those of us that volunteer and then to others in the community. Thank you for that. And then I have another $5 happy bucks because our veteran housing project that Dawn Beaches is starting. We got our funding set aside to say.
I'd like to thank our guests today for coming and speaking to us. And also because of speakers like you, I feel like being a member of this club is like being a member of a lifelong learning institute. I always learn so much whenever I come here. So thank you.
10 happy bucks, 5 for each of us. I'm really glad that we got to finish our Blue Badge checklist together. That was the plan. And thank you to our speakers, and thank you just to this group for all of your support, your kindness, and your huge help. Thank you.
I'm happy about it because I am grateful that at least in the Umpqua Valley, the Cowboys and the Indians are getting along. They could be an example for the rest of this country. You guys don't know me yet, I'm not. And I wanted to donate $20 to Mitch. I just had a great report. My stage 3 lung cancer is stable. You guys have made me feel so well. And you know, it's just wonderful. It reached a really soft spot in my heart, and my husband is thrilled that I'm part of this because it gives me a really good sense of gratitude. And I do have a positive attitude. I know it's going to take me, but not yet. I'm not ready. So thank you guys. I love it. We need to wrap up.
You can wrap up.
Sorry.
Yeah, guys.
You can do Allison. Sorry.
I have a couple happy bucks because I was voluntold to be the new Cub Scouts leader for the Lions, which is my son's kindergarten Cub Scouts group. So I have 5 kindergartners that I have to wrangle every week by myself and try to do positive activities. It's been rough. But officially I am now the leader as of this week, so exciting.
I feel our color has been drawn and it is a few of hearts. The universe is in order.
Thank you, everyone. We're just going to wrap up. Thanks for all the volunteers who helped make community work today. The thought for today is, quote, well done is better than well said, end quote. See you next week.